Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night. We're broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I'm your host, Don Yazzie, and my co-host, Darren Yazzie. Whoa, there he is. Right on time. Look at him. He's like, I just got it from work. I was just like,
So,
how's it going, Darren?
it's going pretty good right now. Got over the couple of days off from work. And, I actually feel like it's been a while. It's been a good minute since we've been on the podcast for some reason, dude. So it's good to be back on. So, who's the guest today, Don?
Today we have one of the most interesting men in Texas. Ladies, sorry, Mr. Joe DeHoyos just got married. He's off the market. So here he is without further ado. There he is.
Hey, thanks
Joe
a lot, brother.
DeHoyos.
I appreciate that introduction, man. Yeah. I don't know if anyone was disappointed, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Oh, man. Every now and then try to sell Darren off like, hey, the highest bidder, because, the Navajos we sell our daughters off, sometimes the boys off. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, our little side joke here. But other than that, man, how's it going? So Darren is in North Texas, and you are in Houston. How's the weather difference between both of you guys?
It's a little chilly here. It's not too bad. We got a lot of rain yesterday, and then today we got quite a bit of rain. I don't know if you did, Darren, or not, but yeah, we got a lot of rain.
Oh no, we just got that cold breeze that rolled in here for the last couple of days. Actually, here in West Texas, Permian Basin. So,
okay.
Yeah, Z Sun Dragon 6461. Hi Don. Hi Joe. Hi Darren.
What's up, buddy?
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome, man. Over in southern Utah, it's starting to get chilly, so I don't mind. I rather work in the cold and the heat sometimes, most days. But without further ado, Mr. Joe here does ghost hunting, and he's also a Sasquatch investigator over at the was it Sam Houston National Forest, right?
That's where I do my primary investigations. I've kind of done it a little bit here and there, but primarily in the Sam Houston. Yeah.
I seen your post of a foot track you found like in a creek.
Yeah. We found
awesome.
We've actually found quite a few. I'm trying to share this out. Can I share this out? I don't.
Oh yeah. Just email me, and then I'll hopefully I can get it on here. If there's not a lot of pictures taken up, but you can shoot the email to me, and I'll download it on here.
Okay. But yeah, man, we have actually found quite a few prints out there. The first time I ever found a print was in 2019, and that was like an 8-inch print. And that was way off trail. It was in the middle of a creek. It was during snake season, and a lot of people were like, could be somebody's kid running around out there, but I don't know anyone who lets their kids run around in the same as the forest during snake season and, barefooted, especially through a creek where there's moccasins, especially, water moccasins out there. So yeah. And we actually found some other prints in another part of Sam Houston, and I have a picture of one in particular, and a friend of mine, he actually took a picture of a print that actually a cast, and we put them side by side, and I'm telling you, they have to be the exact same print. Yes, it's pretty cool. Yeah, we've actually found in one location like 9 prints, so it's pretty cool.
Huh. Right on.
Wow.
Right on.
It's good weather for them down that way.
Yeah, right about now. Yeah, they start moving around. Yeah, so I haven't been out there yet, but I'll probably get out there probably the next month or so.
Where was this at again? It's out there in Houston.
The Sam Houston Forest is north of Houston, maybe about an hour, maybe not quite an hour and a half north of Houston.
Yeah, I've been there once or twice. Kind of just drove through. You go outside the city and it's a lot. The forest is out there. You'll be surprised by how thick the woods can get.
Big too. This Sam Houston Forest. I mean, it's really not just one forest. It's connected all the way up north.
Right.
And up to Louisiana, because the Sam Houston Forest and Davy Crockett and the Big Thicket, of course. The Angelina Forest, and like I said, all the way up north or North Texas into Arkansas and Louisiana. And it's all the same forest. It's just, man-made boundaries really is what it is.
Right. Yep. Wow. Does it get pretty humid out there too? They have that, what do you call it out there in Florida, skunk ape. I can only imagine how horrible the humidity would be out there.
Yeah, man, it's we've been out there, and I mean your shirt literally is just like soaked. Like this shirt right here would be like a dark gray or almost a black just because it's so wet. Yeah.
Right. I worked out there in the Corpus Christi area for during the humid months, and man, there absolutely no running from that humidity. You have to find an AC or not even in the shade.
Yeah.
You're already sweating when you get out the shower.
Man, I'm not lying. By the time you get out of your house and into your car, you're already sweating. Yeah.
Yep. I have a lot of horror stories.
Oklahoma was.
Using the porta cans out there in the
you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Yeah.
Come out 5 pounds lighter.
Oh, dude.
More aerodynamic. Oh man. But yeah. Let's we'll get back on track, and Joe, you can introduce yourself, tell us where you come from, and your whole life actually, your first paranormal experience, and you don't have to rush.
Yeah, man. So I've been into this subject really my whole life. Since I was a little kid. And once I got old enough to like start cutting grass and earning money on the side like that, with that money, that's what I would do. I would go buy books and just try to read up on all this weird stuff, whether it was, paranormal or cryptids or UFOs or, spontaneous human combustion, just whatever I could find, just so I could read about this stuff. And I was like that really my whole life. Maybe after high school, I went to college for a couple of years and got married and had some kids, and that kind of got put on the back burner. But once my kids got old enough and the internet started rolling around, probably like around 2000, I started getting back into it. And, I was, I didn't get on Facebook till like 2012, actually. And once I did, I found out, man, there's this big community of Bigfoot researchers here in Texas, and Bigfoot had been seen here in Texas. And I was like, thought that was something out in the Pacific Northwest or Northern California, and so I got back into the subject, and I met some people here in Texas, and I went out with a few groups, and then I started doing my own thing, so, going solo and taking my family out. And at the time I didn't know anything. So I guess in retrospect, I was using my kids as bait, and so I had no idea what I was doing, but we even from the get-go, we my ex-wife, I recently remarried, like you mentioned earlier, but my ex-wife, she actually saw something one time, and she said it was big and gray and it was really hairy. And in that particular area, I come to find out years later, like 2-3 years later, that a big gray one had been seen in that area. And even after, my ex-wife said that she saw that, there were still reports of this big gray one being seen in this area. So yeah, it was pretty cool,
Wow.
And then, that's been one of my primary areas that I've researched. And we've got some really good vocals and some really good audio from that area, screams and howls. And one of my friends named Kimbo, he recently passed away a couple months ago, man. One of the best guys in the field, in my opinion. He really stayed below the radar. He didn't want to be, known for anything. But man, he got some really, really good audio. One night, it was an owl. You could hear the owl, hoo, 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 and then you hear this big hoo, 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 hoo. It was loud. It was like a primate imitating an owl, basically, and yeah, that was one of the best vocals that we had gotten out there. But we've seen red eye shine. We've seen movement. We've heard movement around us. We found a hog with his head ripped off. Yeah. We found scat, big scat, like bigger than a Coke can, kind of size scat. And then we've had the branches broken over the road going in, but they weren't just broken; they were twisted, like a dish rag. They weren't just snapped; they were twisted. It was the strangest thing, and that would be like the only branch like that, in the whole area. So yeah, we found a lot of stuff like that, and my friend Walter, that's where we found the hog with his head ripped off, was an area that he found, that he had his encounter, and he told me that the one he saw was 9.5 feet tall. And when he told me that, I was kind of like, well, the guy's scared, whatever, right? And he told me that it was standing next to this tree, and the tree had a white spot on it, which was a fungus. And so when we went to go measure it, that sucker was 9.5 feet tall. Sure was. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah. But yeah, it that whole Sam Houston forest area is crazy. It's one of the best areas that I think there probably is. People ask me all the time, like, what's your bucket list, area to go research? I say, Sam Houston. I mean, I'm right in the middle of it. Why would I want to go anywhere else, really?
Right. So, tell us what you think this Sasquatch is, or this Bigfoot. There's this whole bunch of it pretty much goes up the billiard walls. These Bigfoot characters, they're interdimensional. Some people say they're aliens, and stuff like that. It goes up the gamut, really. So
yeah, I heard it all. They're aliens. They're interdimensional. They open portals. They're jumping through portals. They're turning into rocks. They're turning into trees. They turn into orbs. Just they disappear right in front of your eyes. I think they're a flesh and blood creature. And that's not to say that there's not something else out in the woods, maybe, or anywhere on this planet, really. But I think the Bigfoot that I'm looking for is a flesh and blood creature, and I use that. I base that just on what I've heard eyewitnesses tell me. And I know there are a lot of stories out there where people say that they've seen other things or them do other things, and I don't know. I think sometimes fear can get the best of someone, and adrenaline can get the best of someone. And also, like I said, I think there might be just other supernatural creatures out there, because I do believe in supernatural.
That's a good thing, because going into the paranormal, it's kind of hard to put barriers up when it comes down to these Bigfoot characters, because like you said, man, they go, these stories go everywhere. I had one person say that they've seen it turn into a stag, a white stag,
right?
And like others have them, like you're saying, mimicking animals. I had one saying that it was mimicking what was that, train horn, like.
And I think Bigfoot does that. I think Bigfoot does mimic, vocalize, like that. I've heard people say that they mimic like ducks, and I think they do that too, I think they do vocalize,
Yeah, strangely, on our side, they speak Native American languages. As odd as that sounds, that there's people that come across it. It's just not one nation. It's usually another nation that says they speak their
Right.
dialect in the area. So
Yeah, and then you have people say they mind speak. So
yeah, right.
So
So
there you go. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, it kind of throws in the fork there because, like, on the Navajo Nation, so far I've heard people's stories that where they speak their own language. Like when they're hiding, they'll be looking for them. They'll be, they'll be kind of like a caveman type of deal, like those movies. So
Right.
it sounded like that. One person was telling me, and then it would put his upper lip to his nose. I'm gonna bring that guy on my show and really
Yeah.
amazing encounters. And then I have another person that I'm trying to get on, but she might come on. She says that they left some food out in the forest, and I guess a Bigfoot followed them all the way home. And she said that it was speaking to her mom on the other side of the door, like using mind speak type of deal.
yeah.
So that's the first time I heard that on the res.
Right.
Real quick here, guys. We got Vet Girl 84. Hi all. Hi Vet Girl. Skitter operator. First paranormal experience is never the last.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
See here. Juvo. Oh, okay. Juvon Koshel 24/7. What's up, Juan? Let's see. Najoni Yeje. Hello, brother, and all those who are listening. Don't Whistle at Night podcast. Oh yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. Let's see here. Skitter operator, don't chop wood at night. You gotta tell us why your story don't chop wood at night. Let's see here. Melody Alvarez 1378. Hello. And let's see here. Skitter operator, no red, but I've seen orange eye glow. Ooh. I seen amber. My Bigfoot was getting off the amber sun glow or glow eyes reflecting back. And let's see here. He comes back. He says they are flesh and blood when they want to be. Interesting. Sounds like he wants to come on the show. They mimic Harley Davidson sounds or any sound they want. Oh yeah. The one I heard, Ron Moorhead. I walked on mine. That one was just sound like it gave me all the same vocalization, but it was just only one coming from one being, and it was. I wish I knew it was Bigfoot. Okay, so we caught up with the comments section. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share us, please. Joe, so tell us what got you into ghost hunting as well? Because I know you do that at the same time.
Yeah, I've always been into this subject, like I said, and I never really thought about doing investigations as far as like for myself, right? I've been on a couple of the ghost tours and stuff like that, that they have. I actually was living in the house. I lived there for 5 years during my first marriage, and that house is extremely haunted, and from what I understand, it still is today. But once I started doing the Bigfoot stuff, and I started doing that in 2012, like actually going out and looking around and researching. I kind of just started figuring out slowly that there's probably a lot more paranormal stuff that goes on out in the woods than what people want to admit or give credit to, and that's probably why Bigfoot is blamed for rock throwing or footsteps or even hearing voices, right? And not to say that they don't do that stuff, follow people around or throw stuff at them, but I think a lot of stuff could also be paranormal. And so I just started getting more into more of that field, and I just decided one day that I was going to create my own research group or investigation team, and I started doing that too, and I just kind of wanted to expand everything. And that was a little bit after I did my own podcast, which is Beyond the Woodline, and that's where I got the title from. Beyond the Woodline was coming from a Bigfoot researcher, that there's more out there than just what's beyond the woodline, or for what we can see. And so I just started doing that too, and I've had a lot of paranormal experiences, like I said, when I was married, and that just kind of validated everything that I already believed anyway. But yeah,
Mm.
it was.
If you don't mind, tell us a bit more about the house that you're. What do you? What was it like first noticing? Like,
So we lived in one house, and at this time, my former in-laws, they were both sick. They had health issues. The house across the street from them had been empty for like 5 years, and my ex-wife, she grew up, so she knew the owners and their kids were much older than us. Um, and I was married for 23 years, so I got to know them also. Um, they died like in their late 90s. I think the gentleman was like 98 years old when he died, and his wife had died like maybe like 2 years prior. Um, but they were the only owners of this house, and like I said, the house stayed empty about 5 years after they had passed away. So their kids came to us one day. Was like, "Hey, do you guys want to buy this house? We know it'll be across the street from from your mom and dad." And my wife's like, "Yeah, we're interested in doing it." So we went ahead and we did it. And I mean, I wasn't even in there a few days, and I was laying down, and I felt the bed go down, like somebody was getting on the bed, and I thought it was my dog. At that time, I had a boxer. He was a 75-pound boxer, and he knew he wasn't, first of all, allowed in the room. Second, allowed him to get on the bed. And so I sat up real quick, and I was gonna be like, "Get your ass off the bed,"
mm,
And there was nobody there. And then maybe within a couple of weeks later, I felt it again, and I sat up because I thought it was him. And there was nobody there. So at this time, my family, they were in the kitchen making breakfast, and I had 3 kids, or have 3 kids, and I went in there and I said, "Hey, this house is haunted," and they were all like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it is." And they all started
oh,
telling me their stories, and stuff they experienced where they was hearing footsteps or the light coming on, or uh, my daughter said that she saw a flash come out of her closet, like someone took a picture. It was late at
mm,
night.
Oh
Um,
snap!
yeah, and then shortly after that, I was sitting on the edge of the bed. I was going to work. It was probably, I don't know, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and somebody poked me in the ribs. You mess around with people and you kind of poke them in the
mm,
ribs, or that's exactly what it was. Someone jabbed me in the ribs, and I turned around and looked at my ex-wife. She was out. She was asleep, and so then I was like, okay, there's just something going on in this house. And I was in a shower one day, and I felt somebody, like they had their finger like go down my spine. Uh,
Oh,
yeah. Um, One day, I came home from work. It was late at night, and my oldest, she was up playing video games. And as I'm coming up behind her, she goes like this, like to the side, and she lifts around and she tells me, "Stop." And when she said that, I was taking off my jacket, and it was like halfway, around my elbows. And when she saw me, she was like, her eyes got this big because she realized that whatever had touched her or poked her in the ribs, like had done me, that it couldn't have been me because number one, I was too far away, and number two, I had my jacket down around my elbows. So she was like, somebody
mm,
just poked me, in the ribs. And then my youngest one time was eating a bowl of cereal, and he felt somebody tapping him on the shoulder, and he turned around and he looked at me like I was crazy, like I was messing with him, but he realized that I was too far away also. Um, my son called me one day, my middle one, and he was like, "Hey, Dad, I was sitting here on the couch, and he goes, I caught some movement out of my peripheral vision on my right side." He goes, so I looked, and he said he saw this figure. It was like a smoky figure. It was of a person, and it was standing there next to the couch, and it bent down, and when it bent out, it reached his hand out with his finger like that, and it touched him on the arm because my son had his arm on the arm of the couch. He goes, it touched me on the arm, and all his hairs on his arm stood up, and then it just disappeared. Whatever that was, just disappeared. Um,
what?
yeah, and
yeah.
so one of my cousins one time came over, and they were going to remodel our restroom for the master restroom, and in the hallway they were going to do all that area. And we were all in the kitchen. I had a big kitchen. It was me and my family, and it was like my maybe 3 or 4 of my cousins in the kitchen also. But Manuel was talking, and he was leaning up against the refrigerator area, and he starts looking down at his arm, and he's like rubbing his arm. He's like rubbing it like that. And when he's doing that, me and my family we're looking at each other like something's going on with Manuel. Something's messing with him. We just had that feeling. And we didn't say anything. And then Manuel looks down at his arm again, and he walks over there to me. He goes, "Dude," he goes, "this feels like someone just grabbing my arm like this." And he holds my arm. He squeezes it really tight. So we started telling him all the stuff that happened in the house, and we kind of figured that it was the Colemans, the people who owned the house. Probably didn't want him doing all that remodeling and messing with the house, So the next day he comes in to start working on the house. He holds up his arm like this. He's got 4 fingerprint length bruises on his arm. Yeah.
Wow. So, for all that, what do you think that is a ghost, or do you think it's could be like a demonic presence, or is how's the neighbor?
We never got anything negative out of it. I mean, we got certainly scared or startled, to say the least, sometimes, because there was one night I woke up and there was a woman. All I saw was her silhouette, and it was a woman. It was just her silhouette, just black, and I could tell she was wearing a dress. She was standing next to the bed, and she moved towards me. And when she moved towards me, I threw a kick, and I said, "Get back, you MF!" Right? And she disappeared. But I don't think she was trying to scare me. I think, I got scared. But whatever was there, and we still think it was the Colemans. We don't think they were trying to scare us off, or, I don't think it was anything demonic or evil. We just think that they were just letting us know that they were still there and that they were wondering what we're doing in their house, basically.
Oh, dang.
Probably was like, hey Joe, you need a Sancha trying to get into the bed with you, huh?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
1 second before we go on here. 1 second, guys. Let's see here. Tyson Lolito, what's up, brother? How's it going, guys? He says,
hey, what's up?
Christopher Joe 91. Hello, Joe, Darren, and
fellas?
Don. Hey, what's up, Christopher? And see here, Skitter Operator going spooky. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. Sure is. Christopher Joe, hola, One Nation fam. Definitely. This is November. It is Native American Heritage Month, and Joe is still Native American as well. We are all family, whether y'all like it or not. Let's see here. Skitter Operator, everything is normal. We just have no idea what form or what some of it is. Oh, yeah. Strange, huh? Let's see here. Okay, here to listen. Have a nice evening, everyone. Enjoy the podcast and the stories, y'all. Always. Yes, please. Thank you. All right, here. Let's see here. True to my tribe, 0918 evening fam. Hey, what's up, True? Thank you for joining us, everybody. All right. Okay, Joe. The torch is yours now.
So there was one night also, my oldest daughter came out of her room and she's like, "Hey, Dad, I saw this black figure go from one corner of my room to the other corner," and she goes, that did kind of scare her, right? But the funny part is, like, even though she says it kind of scared her, after we talked about it, she went back in the room and went to sleep, right? So that's the kind of like I said, we never really got a bad feeling from it, right? So I told my middle son, I said, "Hey," I said, "go get my recorder from my closet." This was my recorder that I used to do all my Bigfoot stuff, right? And because I've seen people on TV do the EVPs. I said, we're going to do an EVP, see if we catch anything. So me, my oldest daughter, my youngest son, we're sitting in the living room, we're kind of talking, and then I see my middle son coming out of my daughter's room, and he is white as a ghost, right? He's holding that recorder up. He goes, Dad, you got to hear this. You got to hear this. And I said, "What'd you do?" He goes, "I went into the room to go ask questions." He didn't want to wait for us, right? So like, okay. So he hits the play button, and you can hear him say, "Is there anybody here with us?" And you hear a voice go, "Yeah," just like that. And man, that was really kind of freaky to kind of like, that was the first time I had ever got an EVP or try to do that. And so yeah, that did kind of startled us pretty good. But like I said, my oldest daughter, she said, "Okay, well, after about 20-30 minutes of us talking about it, she went back in the room, went to sleep."
Yeah, that's one of the craziest things. I don't know if it's you get used to it or it just doesn't bother you no more.
Yeah.
I know my family's the exact same way, and
Dude, I got me a little EVP spirit box right here. So
my
this is one of my
middle
in-laws.
My middle son, he wound up going to the Marines after he graduated high school, and you know, him and his girlfriend at that time, Rue was his wife, and she recently, I don't want to say she recently, she passed away a few years ago. She had cancer, but you know, they have a little boy together, and Eli at that time, my grandson, he was maybe 2 or 3 years old. So he went back to his mom's house. But this time I was divorced, but you know, my ex still lives there. So when he came home from leave, he was at his mom's house, and he was in his old room with his wife and you know, the baby. Everybody, you know, my ex and her guy, they went to work, so it was just my son and, you know, his wife and the baby there at the house by themselves. And Jake says that he heard the doorknob on his door start going. And you know, he showed me, and he said the door was just like it's doing like that. And you know, he's a Marine. He had an AR under the bed, so he got up, he grabbed it, and you know, my grandson was like, "Daddy," and he's like, "Stay there with your mom. Stay with your mom." You know, and he's looking at the door, and the door starts doing it again. You know, just like that. And he says he goes to the door, opens the door. There's nobody there. He checks all the house. All the doors are locked, and this house had burglar bars on all the windows. So all the doors were locked. So there was nobody there in the house with him, you know. But he said that was actually kind of something that scared him a lot. Yeah.
Kind of seems like never a dull moment, huh? There's always something.
Yeah. And like I said, from what I understand, there's still stuff that goes on, but you know, I don't really get involved in all that anymore, or what happens with that place, you know. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard from how long do you say this place was dormant? 5 years?
It was it was dormant for 5 years, or at least nobody lived there for 5 years. You know, no one stayed there. As a matter of fact, when we moved in, like I said, these were like, you know, people that were very old, and like typical old people, they took care of their stuff. So they had like all their furniture was there, their beds were there. There was 2 bedrooms. Well, I mean, there was 3 bedrooms, but you know, 2 for the kids that we let them sleep in, of course. And I mean, they had twin beds in there that were just like immaculate condition, and we were like, "There's no use in us buying," because their kids were like, "Y'all can keep whatever's in there, you know. We don't have anywhere to put that stuff." So we didn't get rid of anything. You know, the couches were nice. You know, like I said, you know, we had their bed, which was a big old king size bed and good mattress. I mean, they were tiny little people. You know, I mean, they were really old. You know, yeah, everything was there. I think the only thing we replaced was the washer and dryer. Yeah. So that house was theirs.
The spirit stayed behind too, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Take care of the house. Huh. Oh, that's nice.
Wow. That's pretty cool. So you're Catholic, huh? So do you practice the Day of the Dead and the what's the other one? The Santorini, right? Do you practice?
No,
those
I
or
don't.
no?
Yeah, no. I don't do Santorini stuff. Yeah, I just primarily, you know, yeah. I guess we celebrate the Day of the Dead, you know, and you know, all the Catholic holidays, you know, Advent, like what's going on right now. We just started today. We, you know, as far as that house goes, we didn't really. I mean, we did prayers, you know, but we didn't really tell them that they had to leave because we felt that was their space, you know. And they weren't causing any trouble as far as like trying to scare us and trying to get us out. If it had been something like evil or demonic, we definitely would have stepped it up. But you know, we didn't feel that we had to. You know, we asked, "Hey, look, don't come up on us to scare us. You know, we don't want that." And when, you know, my kids were kind of, well, they weren't young, but they were like in their early teens. You know, and we said, "Don't be scaring them." But other than that, you know, we just let them live.
Let them still habitate the house, huh?
Yeah, we didn't mind sharing. Yeah.
No poltergeist or anything like that, though.
Well, we had faucets come on. The faucets in the restroom or the shower head would come on. Yeah. One time we were. This was like after we had separated. My oldest, at this time, I was big into hunting, as I had a whole freezer full of meat, and when I moved out, I couldn't take it with me. I told my daughter, I said, cook all that meat. You know, there was duck and rabbit and hog and deer. I said, you got to cook all that stuff, So she called me one day. She goes, "Hey, Dad, I made some the duck." She goes, "I made duck tacos. Come get some. We're all here." And she had her boyfriend at the time that was with her. And so we were over there. We're eating these duck tacos, which were really good. And she's like, he doesn't believe all this stuff about the house. He doesn't believe in ghosts. And I told him, I said, well, you stick around long enough, something's going to happen, right? And at that exact moment, the kitchen sink comes on, just the faucet comes on. And he turns around and we all look at the faucet. And at this time, he was in construction. So he knew about, plumbing and all that stuff. He's under there. He opened up the bottom of the sink and he's looking underneath. He's messing with the faucets and he's trying to figure out how it turned on by itself. It was so funny.
Wow. Yeah, it kind of just
friendly
breaks
ghosts.
A
little too friendly with that finger going down your back, though. I don't know about that, but hey,
it stopped when it needed to stop. I'll say that much.
It stopped at the borderline, huh?
Yeah,
Don't go beyond the woodline.
Yeah,
Don't go beyond the woodline.
It didn't go south of the border, so that was okay with me.
Oh man, one time I was staying in this apartment in I was staying at this apartment in Salt Lake City, and man, I had this bad dream where I was in a cave, and I was in a cave, and this reptilian lady came up to me, and then like she told me to turn around. I turned around. There was a bed. There's a fire going. There's a bed. I was like, what in the world? Just pushed me on the bed, and I woke up. When I got up on my bed, my phone came alive. My phone was charging, and the phone said, what was it? Succubus. It said succubus, and it gave like the definition of it. It said like a female demonic deity roams around, looks for men. So like the haunting, it's real. Different places, like different cities, are really super haunted, like Salt Lake and Phoenix, and I'm pretty sure Houston has its own weird thing going on there as well. Like you guys have there's Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio, huh? You guys have that triangle there. Mm-hmm. So is there like a bunch of weird paranormal stuff go on in that triangle as well?
I don't know if you would call it weird, but we've during the Civil War, of course, you had the Alamo, and then right after the Alamo, the Battle of the Alamo, you had the Battle of San Jacinto, which is on the east side of Houston. Yeah, I'm trying to get my bearings. Yeah, on the east side of Houston. So all that area from San Antonio to east of Houston. There were battles that were going on. So there's a lot of, I guess you could say, apparitions, like Civil War apparitions that have been seen. Even throughout the Hill Country, which is the Hill Country is more like between Austin and San Antonio, even throughout that whole area. So I've done like investigations along the certain locations that where have the old Spanish missions and stuff like that, or the old battlegrounds. There wasn't a lot of fighting here in Houston, but there was like hospitals. Like one of our bigger hospitals here in Houston is Herman Hospital, which has been around since right before the Civil War. But they were right smack dab in the middle of downtown, and that's where they buried a lot of these soldiers. And so even now, still to this day, there are still apparitions of soldiers being found or being seen. And a few years ago, there was a bad hurricane. They've had so many, I don't remember what it was called. I don't remember if it was Ike or Harvey. But when it flooded real bad, they had bones come up out of the ground, because Houston, Texas is one of, I think, 3 states where you don't have to exhume the bodies to, when you build something, you can move the headstones, you don't have to move the bodies, basically. So so there's actually a lot of hauntings in downtown.
Wow, I can imagine why.
Yeah,
just building. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so like around the area where the Houston Zoo is at, that's where they see a lot of these apparitions or hear voices like at nighttime. Yeah.
Oh man, that's pretty cool right there. Yeah, I bet there's like a horse ghost, but Darren, you got a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's getting into the whole paranormal stuff. It's really hard to explain. You're you're when you're talking with someone that doesn't know anything about it, like just like your house, it's kind of hard to explain it without sounding faulty, but
Yeah.
I get that all the time, man. It's like you really have to see it first or have your eyes open, a bit more to the
Right.
subject matter to actually take the story and for me, I hear you, dude. Like I go through the exact same stuff, dude. When I see shadow people, I dealt with UFOs, Bigfoot, and strange enough, dogmen. It's
So
you try to explain stuff like this, but at the end, you try not to sound so crazy. But you got to get like-minded people on the subject,
yeah,
and
we know.
Yeah.
Like I said, for me, I don't care. I'll tell anybody these stories. They don't want to believe me or think I'm
right,
crazy. I don't care. I
right.
know what I've seen. I know what I experienced. And when you're talking about shadow people, you reminded me of something. When I was like
Ooh.
21, I was at my mom's house. I was asleep in my bedroom, um, and I saw this man standing in my room next to my closet, and he had a big hat on, like a fedora, and a long
Mm,
trench coat. And he walked over to my bed, and I was trying to call my dad, and I couldn't. I was like nothing would come out, and but I had at this time I was young and crazy. I'm telling you right now, I was young and crazy. I had a pistol grip shotgun that I left under my bed, and I grabbed it. And when I grabbed it, I cocked that sucker and I held it up, and he was gone. You know, um,
mm.
but I didn't know until years later that people saw this entity, which is called the Hat Man. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. I'm sure you
Oh
guys
yeah.
are, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
so years later, my oldest niece, she gets married and she moves in with my mom, and her husband, they sleep in my bedroom, right, my old bedroom. And one night he came out of the room like screaming and hollering that he saw this man in the room, and he described the same thing that I saw, and
Mm.
I had never told them about what I saw in that room, you know. Um, so when my brother my brother knew about it, and he told him, your Uncle Joe saw this entity there too before, and
Mm.
so my brother, he's a pastor, so he kind of blessed the room and everything. I don't know how well it took, because years later after that, my nephew, he was little, he was like 4 or 5, and he saw this thing, and my sister had to call her husband to come home from work to get him out underneath the bed, because he crawled under the bed and he wouldn't come out.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So and this
on
was in
this
the same room too. Yeah.
Oh
Hatman
man.
person, what do you think it is? What's your idea on it? Is it what?
I honestly don't know. I've done a lot of research on this thing, and it seems like overwhelmingly people say that this thing isn't inherently evil. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm.
definitely a scary thing to encounter. But but this is just like I said, from what I've researched. That somebody might have some better information than me, but from what I've researched, it's not necessarily an evil entity or an evil presence. It's maybe something to say, hey, you need to straighten yourself out. That's
Oh yeah.
just what You know what I'm saying? Um, so I don't know. So I mean, I really don't know, because I've heard people say that these things are evil, but I haven't heard anything to really back it up, other than people saying these things are demonic, or
Yeah.
you
Or
know what I'm saying?
I haven't
Yeah,
heard too much of them actually attacking anybody.
yeah, yeah.
Really. When it comes down to it, just them popping up. Sometimes I hear them with like glowing eyes. Every once in a while, you hear one.
Mhm.
But besides that, yeah, they don't seem to be. They're just in for the scare, I guess.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
from what I know too, they don't seem to be like attaching themselves to people, like following them around,
Mm.
like the rest of their lives or anything like that. So I don't know, you know.
Um,
Real quick,
all we
guys. Let's catch up with the real quick there. Let's catch up with the comments. Joanne Stewart, also from the Great White North, Canada. Hello, guys. Hello, Joanne. Oh, let's see here. True to my tribe 0918. Heard a story one time that Bigfoot are able to slip in between worlds at will is one of the reasons why we haven't been able to find them. Possibly. That's what they hear. That's what they say. The wood knocks. The Navajo Rangers said it's probably them going into a portal, but who knows, right? See, okay. MZG70. Hi guys. Hello everyone here. Hello MZ. Nice that you came to drop in on us. True to my tribe. I'm a De Los Muertos baby. Oh wow. Cool.
What's that, November 1st? Are you November 1st baby? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. I'm on the 3rd, so
I'm November 2nd, so
oh hey, you're one day earlier than me. Nice. Darren's on October 3rd, so
yeah,
a little bit earlier.
Oh, so we're Scorpios in the group, right? We're the only Scorpios.
Just you and me. Darren's Libra, but we'll consider that. No, I was just kidding. See here, skidder operator. My grandfather was 2 October 31st. Oh, right on the cusp, huh? Somebody's having a good time right there, laughing. Carla Washington 3069. Hello, Don, Darren, and Joe. What's up, Carla? Najona Yeje. Don, you gonna hold that mic all night? Yes, I am. I'll just play. True to my tribe 0918 paralysis demon. Oh man. Paralysis demon, huh? Which demon would you call the one that put his finger down your back? You know, like romantic demon.
Yeah.
All right, I'm still stuck on that. Yeah. Oh man. When it was putting his finger down your back, did it make your toes throw up gang signs or nah?
No, I just kind of froze there for a little bit. Just like I said, I wanted to see where this was gonna go. So
Didn't buy me a drink.
Didn't buy me a drink. Yeah. They didn't buy me dinner.
Oh dang! All right, let's see here. Scooter operator. I think maybe all the supernatural creatures can paralyze you. So yeah. Some of them can. I've experienced that before. Let's see here. Sally Fourth Alone, Scorpio fam. Hey Sally. Fist bump. Okay. All right. We caught up with everybody. Now, Darren, do you have any question for Mr. DeHoyos?
Yeah, the only thing that's pretty accurate on this hack, man, is people are seeing them. Whatever it is, and it's not even culture bound. It's just people. Yeah. Some people just random. Just see it, and so that's the only.
Like I said, I saw him one time. My niece's husband saw him that one time, and my little nephew saw him that one time. And this was, like I said, it was all in the same room. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. Same location. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the same thing with these. This Bigfoot. Everybody seems to be seeing them. So yeah, people have evidence, proof, sounds, stories like couple that you're probably gonna share on the podcast right now. So. Tell us how was your first how you say it, research night for your Bigfoot? What did you go into as it?
So my very first time that I ever went on, I guess, an expedition, if you want to call it that, it was me and my friend Shane, my buddy Armando, who's also passed away a few years ago. Shane, he's a really good guy. I don't know if he's someone who will do interviews with people or not, but he's a real good guy. He's been in this field just as long as I've been, and we met up in the Sam Houston. The first time we ever met face to face, and this was maybe 2013, I want to say. And that as soon as I got there to set up camp, it was maybe 11:30 in the afternoon or morning, whatever people want to call it. And I started hearing, the wood knocks, and Shane shows up maybe 12:30, and I start telling him, I said, dude, we're going to have a good night. I'm already hearing wood knocks, And, man, that night did not let up. I mean, we were hearing wood knocks. We were hearing branches break. We were hearing vocals, screams. It sounded like chimps, So, and I know owls can sound like chimps also, just putting that out there too. There are some owls that have this screech and it sound like a chimp. Um, so that first night, we got recorded. I'm sure we still have audio from that night, and we were hearing those howls. Those howls that just go on forever. Um, it was just like too long and too loud to be a man. There's just
Right.
I'll tell you right now, there's
3
no
seconds.
way a man can make that noise,
Mhm.
and for that
It's
length
louder.
of time. Yes, man.
Yeah.
And I still have those recordings actually. So
Nice.
the second night, it wasn't too bad, right? It was actually a really calm night. We thought, okay, well, maybe these creatures are just passing through, or even just kind of maybe scoping us out. But that third night, it ramped up again, and we were actually kind of scared because we were standing shoulder to shoulder, but he was facing one direction, I was facing the other direction, and at one point he's like, "Hey, did you hear that?" And at the same time, I hit him like, "Hey, did you hear that?" And I'm like, "What'd you hear?" And he said he heard these two like thoop, thoop, like something was stepping. And then what I heard was this loud like crack, like something grabbed a branch and just cracked it in half. Um, yeah, and that was actually a really good night. But in that same area is where we also got a lot of activity. Me and my friend Walter. Um, but yeah, that first night it was really it was kind of hairy just from hearing, just from all the audio and the vocals that we were hearing.
Right.
It made me
Maybe
kind of
no
question.
Believer.
Yeah, it made me want to question whether or not I want to go out to that same area. But I've been out to that area dozens of times now, and sometimes stuff happens, sometimes it doesn't. But that's one of the areas where we saw red eye shine. I met a guy named Jacob Gomez. I don't know if you guys have ever heard his story. They were driving down a road one time. It was like around Waco area, and they saw this dogman laying dead on the side of the road, or they thought it was dead. I don't know, and they put up alongside of it. And his story was pretty popular at this time. And we got in contact with him, and we met him at the Sammy's the Forest one night. And he has a really good story. He's really funny too. Just as a person, he's really funny. But we were getting ready to pack up and leave. We had met out there on a Wednesday night, and I had to go to work the next morning. And we had our trucks parked in this little clearing. And as we were getting our stuff loaded up in the truck, I hear something hit the ground, and I figured one of the guys dropped a flashlight, and they were about, "Hey, Joe, come here." And I said, "What's up?" And they said, "Look," and there was a rock, maybe about the size of, I don't know, a little bit bigger than a golf ball, laying in the middle of all where we had our trucks parked. And it was like that rock just came landed in the middle of all of us. And so we stuck around a little bit longer, and throughout that, we probably stayed up around 30, 45 minutes, but within that amount of time, we saw red eye shine. He saw it up, about 7 feet up in the air, 2 red eye shine. And when he told me, look, if I turned around, it was gone. So I started staring at that area. It was right by this pond. And we're still talking. And then I see the eye shine, but it was at ground level this time. And so when I said, "Hey, look, I see it," they turned around and it was gone, But yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, tell you the truth, some of the audio, you catch audio of these, it don't do it justice. Not one.
No,
of
it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the Bigfoot that we had at our house right here on the Navajo Nation. We had audio of it, but it did not do it justice. It was just one loud, unbelievable, howl that this thing was giving off. In a couple of interviews, I say that it makes your eyeballs rattle, because
So,
Oh yeah.
Don, you're familiar with Will, right? Will Jevning.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has a cousin who had a scream on that he recorded, audio. I have one, and a friend of mine named Don has one. He's up in Maine or Delaware. Anyway, I think it's Maine, and we put them all three together, and they're the exact same.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. Just wait till episode 1 when this series comes out. We capture 2 of them howling, and the vocals and the range. It's just like we sent to Thinker Thunker. I don't know if you follow him on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone sends him evidence, and he breaks it down really good. So my producer sent him the audio recording because we got that night. We got reports of a screamer in Oh my gosh. In a little community in southern part of Navajo Nation, Will and Adam and I, we went. It was a bust. But when we got back into Window Rock, Will and Adam were going back into the room to go to sleep, and I was going to call my wife to let her know that I'm alive, I'm safe. But she was asleep, and it was like 2 in the morning. And then I was trying to call, and then I felt my earbuds right here. They started vibrating, and then with my sound canceling on, I can hear the windows and rattle and vibrate. Then everything all came back. First time I ever heard Bigfoot howling in the tent back when I was
Oh yeah.
19. So everything clicked. And I was like, oh my gosh! So I got Adam, I got Adam, I got Will out, and we captured the audio. So what we captured was good, but it didn't do it justice because
Yeah.
those guys were like at least 500 yards away, and our inside was vibrating with the howling and woo. It was like, oh my gosh, man!
Yeah.
Yeah,
I bet that howl that we were hearing was at least a quarter mile away. And it was like I said, if it was a man, there's no way we would hear a man from that far
Right.
away and that loud.
Yeah. It's it's an amazing thing to do capturing these audios because every once in a while you'll hear one and you're like, hey, that's exactly
Yeah.
that's exactly what it sounded like. I remember listening to another podcast and this one man, he was talking about the Bigfoot howling and exactly how he mimicked the voice was exactly how I mimicked that Sasquatch crying. And at the time, I kind of hit my brother on the side, told him like, "That's what we heard." And it was, he's like, "Oh, okay, like yeah, it's kind of an inside joke, but man, every once in a while you'll catch one. It's a good feeling. It's a weird feeling to get that.
rare. It's like
Mhm.
1 in a million. We got a question here, MZG70, and I want to know what Joe's thoughts on this as well. It says Don and I meant to say Darren. Don and Darren, do you believe crossing lost souls over, like helping lost souls over? What do you do, Joe, when you're out there? I've yet to ask you a few questions about your investigations and what's the most scariest thing that happened, the weirdest. So I have a lot of questions for you as a paranormal investigator. But what do you think on that? Crossing souls over. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that if it can be done, you should do it. I've never tried to do it. Anywhere that I've ever gone and done an investigation, most of the time the people who own the property say not to do it. They don't want you doing it because that's their bread and butter, right? Um,
It's
you
right.
know, but I think that I think if it can be done, you should probably do it. I don't know how to do it. Like I said, when I was living at that house, we told them, "Hey, you're welcome to stay. Just don't scare us. But if you're going to scare us, you got to leave." I don't know if it's that simple, or if you've got to do a prayer, if you got to do the whole incense and ringing bells, or whatever, throwing salt everywhere. I don't know, but I think if you can do it, and if they want to go, you should give them that option and help them out.
That's pretty cool. What about you, Darren? What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I totally believe in helping the spirits pass over. Uh, the dead only know one thing is they're dead, and it's dealing with death, especially as a human mind. I believe no one's ready for it, and it's a scary subject. Something that we all must go through, and the transition over. Uh, Sometimes we just need help getting uh, getting our mind straight. I don't know how you would call it if you're dead, soul, your spirit. You know, for the Navajos, traditionally the spirit sticks around for 3 days, if I remember right, 3 days. So it takes. So they traditionally do their songs and prayers in that time. Sometimes they need help to go, but at that traditional perspective, 3 days, it takes them to pass over. So um, from that point, it's not an uncommon thing for people dealing with death like this to be visited by them or talk to them, or say their last goodbyes, you would say, to help be helped over. So yeah, I do. I believe in it. Sometimes these spirits kind of cover up as for more evil, demonic, non-human, beings. So either way, it's best. If you don't know what to do, don't do it. Don't mess with it. Um,
Yeah, it's gonna
if
follow you.
serious, yeah, if it's a serious subject, seek help, get help.
Yeah, like for oh sorry, go ahead there.
No, man, that's all you right now, buddy.
Oh, yeah, like for the or like our culture, like they were saying 3 days. Like if you don't bury the body on the fourth day, the soul is gonna be trapped here, and you would have to get a medicine man that can help that soul go over to the next one. And I know like I was speaking with I was hearing a story from a Lakota friend on a TikTok live, and she said a lot of different tribes we have different ways. In her way, she was saying that they keep the body around for 4 days, and those 4 days, the family member's soul would be visiting them, and they would actually get out a cigarette and light it and put the cigarette on the floor, and that ghost would be in the closet, come out of the closet and grab the cigarette and take a drag and sit on his bed and crying for
Hmm.
4 days. This ghost would be in the closet crying because he offed himself in the closet.
Oh
So
wow.
then after 4 days, they're like, okay, this is the fourth day now. We're gonna smudge you. Come out. So his ghost would come out and sit with them, and they would start praying and and smudging. And when they opened their eyes, he'd be gone. And then yeah, so like every tribe has their own deal, and it's
Yeah.
always interesting. It's
Uh,
always interesting.
yeah.
But
There's another. They sing traditionally. They gather around. They sing around the body too. Especially at the last, the last breath type deal. They, I seen it. I've been part of it once. But that's something that they did to help the transition of the spirit. So yeah, man,
yeah.
it's a weird concept. Dealing with the spirit of death. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. Always weird things happen as well.
Mm.
Um, Going back to the comments here at Skeeter Operator, had two creatures come by my camp one night screaming like a woman on fire. When they got close, the shut up started making noise like a wood breaking. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Pictures don't work very good either. Yeah. And let's see here at Najone. Just to clarify, November 1st is Dia de los Niños, and November 2nd is Dia de los Muertos. Thank you. Thanks for that clear up right there. Because I didn't know as well. And let's see here. Oh, yeah, Joe. If you need to get going, it's fine. Darren and I will just hang out here. But we thank you for your time. If you gotta bounce, it's not a
No, I
biggie.
got probably about 15 more minutes.
Okay. All
Yeah, yeah.
right. Go ahead, and we can always do part two. No worries. But
Okay.
go ahead. What would you like to share with us?
Oh, you asked me like my scariest experience, right? Um,
Yeah.
Paranormal. I've never been like really scared. I mean, like I said, I've been startled, right? Those couple of times where I got poked in the ribs, or I saw like the lady standing next to my bed. But nothing's like really like jumped out and like scared me, or like I've been really like afraid. Um, y- y- yeah, I mean, I can't really say that I've been like scared. I mean, I've definitely been kind of creeped out.
Mhm.
But
I know you take things home too, like haunted things. So that's like
yeah.
any of them.
So I used to have a bunch of haunted dolls, and I still do. I still have them, but I have them in storage, because like I recently got married, and my wife is like, "You're not bringing that stuff into this house," and so it's all in storage now. So they're just over there. But yeah, I used to bring. I had a bunch of haunted dolls, and um, there was a couple in particular. The first night that I had them, I mean, I was hearing footsteps around my bed. Like something was walking around my bed. Um, and I knew it had to be them. And it wasn't like is that what I'm hearing, or is that something? Man, it was like footsteps. I mean, when someone's walking in your room, and when you and it wakes you up, and when you wake up, you're laying in bed and you're still hearing these steps. And again, I was just like, hey, don't try to scare me. You can stay. And so anytime I ever bought like items like that, it's always been like, you don't have to stay here. I bought it, for entertainment. You don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. You can leave. But so far, I've never had anything like try to scare me intentionally. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen orbs in the middle of the night in my room, like big bright blue orbs, and it has to be for one of my dolls. I have like 10 of them, So yeah.
So, what kind of dolls you talking about? You talking about like those giant porcelain dolls, or
I have a couple of porcelain dolls. I have a couple of stuffed animals, also, but the ones that I'm getting or I've gotten the most activity from are for the porcelain dolls. Yeah.
Wow, that is
China doll.
Yeah, that is an odd habit or hobby, I guess you would say, buying haunted dolls and stuff like that. Man, I don't think I can get up in the middle of the night and just look and have these dolls' eyes just staring at me. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, before I was married, and my wife at the time, she was my girlfriend or fiance. Yeah, she was like, I don't like coming standing at your house. I don't like it. And I was like, well, too bad. It's my dolls and my house. But now, no, I can't have them. And I'm actually okay with it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet. I don't know if I'm gonna sell them or give them away or something. I've got a friend here in Texas who kind of collects them, so maybe I might let him have them. And like I said,
it's your trouble now.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome, man. Well, hey Joe, can you remind everybody where they can find you?
You can find me anywhere on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. Type in Beyond the Woodline. Type in my name, Joe DeHoyos. You'll find me. I've actually got 2 pages on my Instagram. One is Beyond the Woodline, and the other one is my Iron Faith rosaries. I make rosaries, and I kind of sell those on the side. Cool. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I do. Awesome. Yeah. Go check out Iron Faith Rosary. You don't have to buy anything. Just go and like the page. Help spread the word.
Like, share, and subscribe to this man's work. And thanks for taking the time out and joining us. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that have a lot of questions for you.
Yeah. I got to have you guys on my show too, man. I know me and Don have tried a couple of times, but I guess the spirits won't let us.
Yeah. He had dolls at the time, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't like that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Oh man, but yeah, thank you for your time again. Yeah, time is very valuable, and we won't keep you too long. You got some things you got to do. Appreciate it,
man. Yeah, I didn't know you guys would do like a 2-hour show, and I kind of looked it up right now on your YouTube. Oh man, they do a 2-hour show. I should have asked you that, but yeah.
Oh no, it's all good.
It's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, but let's do it again. And like I said, if anything, I want you guys on my show.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. We're friends on Facebook, and then I'll make shorts out of this episode, and I'll tag both of you guys. Okay. So we'll be linked together on Facebook soon, and on YouTube. You're on. Send me your YouTube information. I'll tag you on the shorts on YouTube, and then your TikTok handle. I'll tag you on the TikTok as well.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Well, thanks again. You got Joe DeHoyos here on Beyond the Woodline.
All right, thank you guys.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Joe. You have a good one. Drive safe. Take it easy out there. All right, that was Joe DeHoyos from Beyond the Woodline. He does investigations as well. He goes to haunted locations in San Antonio, Houston, so Texas area. And I was showing you guys earlier right here. This is a little one of my sister-in-law's little ghost thingy, spirit box. So when she busted out, I turned it on, and I already had a few people chatting away on there. So I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Sis," she's like, "What does this mean? We have company?" She's like, "Yeah, that's cool." I was like, "Okay."
Your sister does stuff like this too, huh? Does the whole
Yeah,
ghost busting?
yeah, she's getting into it. I borrowed this. I went to the ruins here in St. George, one of the ruins, and those guys got cleared out because it was clear, nothing walking around the ruins, and it was awesome. But yeah, let's see here. Let's catch up with some viewers right here before we call it a early Monday. What do you think, huh? Should we just call it early Monday or do a little Q&A sesh before we
Yeah,
close out?
we can do a Q&A, just drop a little bit of what we're having up next, or what the guest lineup would be like.
Oh, next guest. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. Well, we'll get into it as soon as I read this right here. Tartar sauce. Hey, from Oregon. Enjoying your shows. Hey, what's up, tartar sauce? Yeah, bring a little bit some of that Oregon cod out this way, man. In Utah and Texas, we need some of that good fish. Yep, Najoni Yeja. Agree with the wife. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I had people ask me to leave out the spirit plate, and I was about to, but my wife was like, "No," because I don't want anything coming in. So I was like, "Hey, it's for the ancestors," and she's like, "No, we're good. Nope, I don't want to mess with that." So I was like, "All right, okay." And,
on that,
let's see here. Well, Crazy Coyote 1313. Send him to the Warren Museum. Oh, geez, where's that at? We'll check it out. We'll get some content there. Z-Sun Dragon, like and subscribe. Yes, sir. Yes, please. Anyone watching out there? Let's see here. Awesome show. Hey, thank you, Z-Sun Dragon. Tartar sauce. Night, everyone. Hey, thank you, tartar sauce. Let's see. Thank you for your time, Joe. Oh yeah, Joe. He's gonna be listening to this after the show. Let's get our operator later. Hello, Don and Darren.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Sherry Mag. What's up, Sherry? Yeah, looks like we're gonna close it early tonight. Darren and I are both blue collar workers, so we sacrifice our sleep to entertain you guys on Sunday nights. You guys are all special. That girl 84 hearts stars. Yes, thank you. Chavez. Let's see here. Silly. Darren, am I saying the name right? Sally Chavez 9321. Hello, it's me, honey. Hey, Miss Chavez. Hello. From TikTok. Getting some people from TikTok here. Here, Skitter operator. Do many tribes have to deal with skinwalkers or just Navajo? Oh, that's a good question. Aaron, you want to answer that one real quick?
Skinwalkers, they're people, the mainstream, they always put it out as these white, splendored, weird, just gaunt beings. But the Navajos, they call them oh man, I forget, slip my mind. Where's the ghost channel too? The Yanagloji, they're basically human witches, believe it or not, and that's, you're hearing it from the people where they came from. The skinwalker, that's part of the culture, and it's kind of hard, they Navajos and skinwalkers kind of walk hand in hand, at a certain point where I would say, "Hey, what's going on?" They would be like, "Yazi, what kind of name is that? I never heard of that. You Indian or like not the one with the red dot on the head? No, I'm Navajo." You're like, "Oh, you got any skinwalker stories?" So that's one thing. That's how it kind of goes sometimes. So, but I believe some of the people that they call skinwalkers, think they might have to do a bit of ground research, on the area first. I'm pretty sure they're called different, different word. They have different words for them. So for Navajos, that's the Yanagloji on our side. So yeah.
I'm pretty sure the every tribe does deal with Navajo witches, witchcraft, skinwalkers, Tloshis, and from what I'm aware of, different tribes have their own form of shapeshifting witchcraft,
Mhm.
and we have yet to bring other people from other tribes to come on and share, but there's only so much where someone would share that would link them, back to that topic where a lot of us from the Southwest and the reservations, we've seen so many crazy things and experienced a lot of things, and a lot of us, we have our own forms and own ways to fight back against that. And, we have skinwalkers from that tribe. This tribe has their own type of skinwalkers, so it's kind of like probably passed down from the Thunder Beings, and I heard some other stories that it came from a Navajo woman having sexual relations with the shape shifting coyote, the trickster. And some people are saying that coyote is an alien. And so that's how they started doing witchcraft. And then the Navajos and the Hopi started doing a race towards bad medicine. Who can perfect the art of bad medicine. So they both started going at a race, and the Hopi won. And then one of the things that they have is the lightning, the thunder being. So same thing with the skinwalkers and the thunder being bundle. So it all ties down to thunder, the lightning. The fall of Lucifer. The lightning is Thor. So like everything all ties. So it's like like a huge giant can of worms. And it's pretty awesome though. And let's see here. Another question. Yeah, the other tribes, they have their own ways they deal with things, and they can share, and they don't have to, and it's okay. We all coexist with each other. Let's see here, Z Sun Dragon, night all. Hey, good night, Z Sun Dragon. Thank you for joining us. Oh, we got the Kodega himself. Good evening, gentlemen, dropping by to say hi. Thank you, Kodega, for the intro.
Yep, very much, man. It kind of gave me chills listening to it. Damn, we got our own introduction now, dude. It's freaking awesome. So that's right.
Radio
Thank you.
True to my tribe. 0918. They affect all people. Some are worse than others. Yeah. And I've been chatting with people that survived the sacrifice. They were being sacrificed by skinwalkers. They survived. And then another guy I got off the phone with the other night. Oh man, he had stories coming that he was actually learning the dark arts and a community, a chapter house. Everyone, all the chapter house officials, the chapter house presidents are all skinwalkers. So they all got walked in on a Kogan. All of them they had the skin on them. They're all chanting, and they're putting paint on the guy's girlfriend because she was completely naked and she was in the middle of a pentagram and a Hogan. So this gets real. It gets real, and people with people with power always comes with spiritual wickedness. Spiritual wickedness in high places. That's a real thing. So be careful out there when you see the chapter house officials. Be careful, guys. Be careful. Okay, let's see here. Another question here. Crazy Coyote 1313 laters. Hey, have a good one, Crazy Coyote. Be careful when you cross that road. No, I was just playing. That girl 84 in the Miigwech culture, the Genu be the parallel to Navajo skinwalkers. Ooh, sounds like someone has a story. Genu. Where's that at, Genu? Wow. And like Juneau, Alaska? Maybe. Crazy Coyote 1313. Y'all should do a stream with VTuber Persona. Oh, really? We gotta do some research right there. Who is Persona, Darren? Is that ring a bell?
Nope. Nope.
And true to my tribe, we're first utilized in the war, and transporting things over long distances. They grow greedy and use the power they learn to help our people, to hurt our people. Yeah, that's why they charge. Yeah, understood. Najoni Yeja, see, glad you came, Michelle Chavez. Thank you. Let's see here. Who else here? Shell Chavez, 9321. Thank you for reading all the comments, brother. I'm getting ignored in another live here, so I will stay. Oh, hey, no problem. No problem. Yeah, people ignore you. I don't know what's wrong with them, but here we'll read everybody's comments. We'll say hi to everybody. Let's see here. Vet Girl 84. No, Gino. Gino is the name of the beings. Oh, Vet Girl. You need to reach us. Sounds like you have a very interesting story. All right, Darren, you have any last thoughts you want to share with the viewers here?
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Like, share, and subscribe. I hope you all had a pretty good U.S. holiday. So there's a lot of hustle and bustle out here, man. It got pretty nasty out here, and Thanksgiving Eve, I just stayed inside, man. It got pretty wild. Same thing with Black Friday. So besides that, we're off one holiday and we're going into another one. So the seasons are with us. Join us. Stick it out with us. You have stories you want to tell? Hit us up and we'll read it out here. And if you don't want to have your name, we can leave that out. So the more information people have is the better, So thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
I'll probably read the ones from TikTok. I have people I should bust it out and read it, but maybe next one. And we have one question here before we take off here. Brian Cass 5408. From what I learned, skinwalkers were special forces of the Navajo warrior. No. It's a branch. They're all in one branch. There's 5 of them. There's the messengers, that's the skinwalkers, the weapons makers, the warriors, the raiders, and the crap, I keep forgetting the 5th one. So we all had different branches in our warfare, and the skinwalkers were the messengers to assemble all the warriors. So back in the day, the United States Cavalry, it took them 3 weeks to organize 1,000 soldiers. In the Navajo Nation, it took them a half a day to organize 1,000 warriors. So they were doing their work, messaging, going from to and from, giving messages. So one of the stories, Bears Ears, Utah to current day Sleeping Ute Mountain. So on both of the ears, they had one hogan on top of both Bears Ears and 12 Paiute Wickiups surrounding both ears. So and then over in Sleeping Ute, they had a hogan on the very top. And then on the bottom, they had a male hogan and Paiute Wickiups surround the entire mountain. What they were doing, they were keeping an eye on the north, from the northern any enemies coming from the north. You had the Utes, you had the Spanish, you had the Mormons. So whenever anyone were coming from the north, they would let out a signal and the messages would spread out everywhere. So all those guys that were surrounding Bears Ears and Sleeping Ute Mountain had that gift to shapeshift and take off and spread the message as fast as they can. So, and now, the warriors, the Navajo warriors, were called Naba'a. There's Ba'a, that's the right way to say is Naba'a. So the Naba'a's job is to basically die, fight and no retreat. And we're the ones to give our life to our family, to our people, and give the women and children and the old men time to run. And now, after the war is all over, after all that, the skinwalkers started becoming the special forces of the dark side. And when I was in Apache land, they're showing me where Geronimo hid. They showed me Geronimo's caves, the trails that he took to evade capture from the White Mountain scouts and the other enemy scouts, Navajo scouts. And they told me themselves, they said that the reason why Geronimo was hard to capture was because the Navajos were coming down from the north and teaching Geronimo and his warriors how to shapeshift. And there was one of the warriors that was hiding with Geronimo. He was Navajo. That's what I heard. So he was probably the ones how to teach him how to shapeshift. So like there's different ways you can shapeshift. You can shapeshift even into a butterfly, and the only butterfly that you can shapeshift into is a logi, the white one, the white logi. So my family taught me this. I'm sharing this, and I realized that it wasn't right. So put my tradition aside. The family, they'd always would tell us boys that, hey, go run after that white butterfly, go capture the white butterfly. We're like, why? So when we would capture it, they would teach us boys a song, and then that song, while you're singing the song, you take the right wing and put the right wing on your right leg, the left wing on your left leg, and then that was supposed to make you very swift, where someone trying to pursue your life, they will never capture you because you're swift, you're going left and right, and no one's able to capture you. And then also that a white butterfly is also tied to love magic. So that's why they always say, hey, as a Navajo, you're not supposed to wear butterfly jewelry. You're not supposed to have butterfly stuff. You know, it's very forbidden. And I barely found out that just recently. So, you know, it's just things that we're taught, and we don't know if it's wrong or right, but these teachings are from the older ones. Okay, let's see here. Who else we got here? Skitter Operator show will be here soon. Snow will be here soon. Oh yeah, get ready to take off all your clothes and roll around, Skitter. Wait, that's the second snowstorm. The first one's dirty. Yeah. Then when the second snowstorm comes, that one's the clean one where you can jump in and roll around in there for the winter. Yeah. And BCast, Briancast 5408. Interesting, Don. I've never knew that the Spaniards in Arizona talked about Geronimo running into a large rock and appearing in New Mexico. Oh, that's because we have underground caves and underground tunnels that crisscross all over the Southwest. So he had knowledge of that, and so did the Navajo people. But once you enter those underground tunnels, you have the Rick down there. You have Bigfoot down there. You have the Lizard Man down there. You have who knows what else is down there. But stay out of caves, guys. Stay out of caves. SFHSFU64W. Question: what projection is there from cryptids? Well, what protection is there from cryptids? My bad. Do cryptids cause missing time? Yeah, the little people, yeah. Well, the protection, people use bitter, like a bitter medicine, where they would have a bitter pouch, and some people have a bear root, bear medicine, and my grandpa, his go-to was a cedar ash. And whenever something would come around the house, he would be throwing ash on me, and I'd be waking up like, "What are you doing?" He's putting ash on me, on my aunts, and he's doing his thing. And then one of the story goes that when the skinwalker came around, this one guy, he said that he seen a dog. He thought it was a dog. It was up on the hill and was watching them. And then he was looking at it. He's like, "Hey, that's not a dog. That's not a dog. It looks like so-and-so. That looks like a dog because its face, I guess he recognized it." He ran inside to his grandma, And then he's like, "Hey, so and so." Guess he was a drunk or a friend of the family. So and so was outside, and they walked outside, and that person was sitting up there in the hill. Lady went inside. She went into the fire. She grabbed because they're burning cedar. She grabbed the cedar ash. She went outside, looked towards that dude on the hill, and she started singing a song. Guess there's a spell where you can. There's a song where you can sing to that ash, and you put it on your thumb, then you flick it, and you see the ash leave your thumb. And while that ash is leaving your thumb, it's going to the ground. It turns into an arrowhead. Then it flies right to that skinwalker. And while that ash was turning into arrowhead, it started flying to that skinwalker. That person started running. They said that arrow was all moving the same way that skinwalker was running. That skinwalker went over the hill, and you heard a loud slap. That's what they said. It sounded like a slap, and the guy was groaning, and he was running. They start tracking him. They said he started was a coyote like tracks, and it turned to a man running. And and a couple days later, that man died. 3 days later, to be exact. And this took place in the Chinle, Arizona area, Central Navajo Nation. So there's ways to protect from cryptids, but I know the little people stay out of their way. Don't bother them because they can kidnap you, and sometimes they'll never let you come back. And if you do come back, you'll come back in a generation or 2 weeks or 2 years later. What are you gonna say there?
He's for the cryptic, I think the best thing to do is to leave him alone if you don't know what it is, just back off and leave it alone. But for these little people, don't mess with them. Don't just leave them alone. I think that's the only best thing you can do with these little people is they're unpredictable. They're either good, good spirits, good beings, or they're extremely violent and hostile. Don't put a bet on it. If you don't know what it is, leave it alone. But for these little people, leave them alone. Just leave them alone, and yeah, just leave them alone. But I say that because they're able to walk into different realms. This one, next one, and they have a lot of hidden information, hidden knowledge that will definitely harm you or your belongings, your house, your animals, and stuff like that. So, if anything, best thing to do is leave it alone. That's just a warning, a pretty stern warning. So
you better don't have respect.
Yeah. Better don't. Yep, for real.
And SFHSFU64W question: are we being tricked that cryptids are the friendly forest people? Oh man, just don't feed them. Just don't feed them because you might end up on the menu.
Yeah.
We have stories for days of them taking pinyon pickers on the Navajo Nation or trying to abduct, especially women. And they seem to show themselves to females and children more than men. If they do show themselves to the men, it's usually when they're alone or when they're out late at night hiking, like my story. And I wouldn't trust them with my son. I wouldn't trust them with my daughter. I wouldn't trust them with my wife, both my sons. Because if you guys were listening, we're all survivors of the hairy man trying to take us. Almost took my mom, my sister. Darren has the stories. He's seen a dog man, and we got a guest on here, Hanson Smith, that killed the dog man with his bow, and that was a lucky shot. He's a modern day monster slayer. So if you have these questions yourself, maybe people will say yeah, but I would say don't trust anybody. Be careful. Don't end up missing. Yeah, Skitter operator. Good questions. Yeah, good questions. Yeah. SFHF. Yeah, he comes back again. Question: why don't churches recognize cryptids and aliens? That's a very good question. Because
Yep.
they're not reading their Bible.
Huh.
Because in the Bible, time and time, the Lord tells the children of Israel, have no fear. I'll go before you. I'll go before you and clear out the Seder. You know who the Seder is? Is the that's the Centaur, and then the goat man, and then he says that I'll clear out the terror in the night, the howler in the night. Throughout the Bible, you see that over and over. That he's talking about the Sasquatch, and then you
Yeah.
hear giants, and everything in the Bible that's been mentioned of the giants and the six fingers, the double rows of teeth. We had all that over here too. We have pictographs all over the place that reminds us that history correlates. Something took place. And then within our culture, we have the same thing too of the holy people coming down and making giants with us. So there's always stories of warning, stories of what to do and not to do, and how to walk this life as a five-fingered being, two-legged surface person. We have a job here in this world. Some people have the gift to see the other side. Some people don't, but everyone has a job in respecting each other and respecting each other's boundaries, and especially things that run around at night, because we share this rock with them. All of them are alele, so that translates to mystical. That's their realm is nighttime. That's their time to roam around. And let's see here. Yeah, the churches need to read
Yeah.
their Bible. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
There's so much stuff with it, man. It's kind of unbelievable for a Christian, on my side, the way I think about it, it's like, how do you guys not believe the Bible like this? There's some people, they believe in demons. Like, what was Jesus doing? Just when he said he was casting out demons, give you the mouth and you cast out demons in my name. Or even with I think it was Matthew, when they're on the boat, the storm. One of the apostles cries out, "It's a ghost!" Like, wait. So obviously there were
yeah,
ghosts back
he's
in the
walking on the
day.
water.
Yeah, he's walking on water.
Yeah,
They call him a ghost. And even you like Missing Time. I think one of the books have a character with missing time, to the point where I think he went in like 70 years. Man, it was a long time that he was gone for.
yeah,
And he comes across and he meets a boy, and the boy gives him the 411. So the way I talk about it, if you're going to read the Bible, you really gotta have an open mind. You can't be closed at the subject of, oh yeah, Jesus, you know, he was there, but you can't you got to accept everything that he did. He performed miracles. Like putting mud under eye, healing the blind, leopards, and if you're gonna, you got to come on with the open mind. You can't be subjected to, just this world, because believe it or not, Jesus says, "I am my kingdom is not of this world." So, if not to say that he was an alien, to that point, but he's saying that his world is not from
belong
this.
here.
Yeah, it doesn't belong here, So,
Yeah. One of the
and
yeah. Oh,
even
sorry. Go
if
ahead there.
even if we want to get, the whole Bible is just riddled with just mysteries and creatures, behemoth,
Yeah, like
leviathan,
yeah,
and
like the
all
one that
story.
yeah, like one of the sorry, Darren, like one of the stories that everyone doesn't like goes over is the one that the conquest of Canaan. When Joshua was fighting the Canaanites, and the sun was going down, and that king was about to escape. And then God made the sun stay up. Stay up. He kind of
Yeah,
moved it back in
yep.
place. Yeah, so like, was it the sun or was it a big giant ship? Or did he make time stop and people are missing time? Like what people are experiencing. So that's possible. That missing time part. It's in the Bible. So there's a lot of
Uh,
things to read
I,
over.
I,
Like if you're gonna read it with your eyes, That's not going to work. You have to read like you're drinking and eating something. That's the only way you can understand it. It's one of my favorite books.
Yeah, it's I think that was cataloged too, that event, and I think it was like Chinese. I think cataloged it. The sun went down, then it went back. It came back up, dude. So
yeah, the Chinese recorded it. Yeah, that's right.
The
girl,
to finish up
84.
Subject too. Now was believing the Great Flood story too. So,
Oh yeah.
So that's one story that obviously something happened when major flood event. So.
Oh yeah, there's different. Every culture has a good story of a flood. But let's catch up to the comments real quick before we close out. Vet Girl 84 was slick driving today towards the evening. Lots of people fishtailing their vehicles. Oh yeah, be careful. If you're fishtailing, if you lose control, let off the gas. Don't push the brake, and just turn into the curves. Just tip for everyone out there. Let's see here. Audacious Amber. Hey, what's up, sister? Hey, brothers. Hi to all the uncles. Hey, any singles uncles out there? Go over here. Audacious Amber, like button, please. Thank you, Amber. Fist bump. Let's see here. SFH. SFH. Lights on. Cameras on your house. Crosses, prayers, silver, frankincense, sage, etc. Oh man, you can use sage. You can use whatever your heart desires. But if things go crazy, you're gonna have to call in a professional, whether it be a preacher, father, a demonologist, or a medicine man from a local tribe. Whichever floats your boat. But for me in my household, we just get together. We make a prayer circle. My wife, my kids, and I, we come together as one. That's one thing you can do for protection. Just call your father, your mother, your brother, your sister. You say, hey, let's make a prayer circle. Let's all pray. Let's get together. Let's just pray. That really helps out as well. Skidder operator, tell them if they are not friends of Jesus, leave. Oh yeah. One of the stories that I heard was this Catholic guy. These Greys came in, and the Catholic guy was saying, "Name of Jesus, leave." The Greys left, but then the Greys came back with the Jesus, blonde hair, blue eyes, and they abducted the guy. He walked willingly, so they faked him out. So be careful; it's blonde hair, blue eye. That's not the real Jesus, folks. So the alien Greys can trick you. Man, be careful out there. That's one of the weirdest things I've heard out there, man. So be careful. Oh, someone's whistling. Yeah, don't whistle. Brian Cass 5408. Hey Don, I ran to a lady who was eating white clay. Not to tell what I did for work, but she was very nervous and kept eating it in front of me. I've heard skinwalkers having this on their body. Oh man, yeah. They chant, and there's 3 or 4 of them, multiple of them. When they're chanting together, they apply it on each other, all of them in a circle. And there's always a ringleader. Sometimes you'll tell, sometimes you won't. Yeah.
But
let's take a picture.
Yes.
SFH. Yeah.
But strangely enough, Navajos eat.
Yeah,
they eat with clay too. They eat with mud. It's it's weird, but not just because you see them eating dirt doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Yeah. SFH question: how do we cope with trauma of being affected by these things?
Oh,
you're gonna have to find the medicine men's, or find the skinwalker's lair. Crawl into their secret area, destroy everything, and walk at least 50 yards away, hide, and wait. And when they come back, they'll find out their stuff is messed with, and they'll know where you went. And when they're coming, make sure you aim for their heart and put seizure on a bullet, on your rifle, so it won't malfunction, because these guys can make the guns malfunction. And I heard a story last night that it can make a bullet curve. So Be careful, guys. And you can go to a preacher, someone that has a personal relationship with God. That's key, people. Someone that's walking with God from inside, not outside. Don't go to someone that's claiming to be one on the surface, but go seek the one that's communing with them internally. And if not, if you're traditional, uh, just ask around. I'm pretty sure there's an honest medicine man out there that's willing to help. And I know a hand trembler. He's a part of the team, and he's a really down to earth person. And he's really cool dude. His name's the Cedric Willie. He was on our past show. If you guys want to check it out,
check it out.
Let's see here.
You ever hear stories? You ever hear stories of Navajos combating these skinwalkers? I was told one when I was a kid that this I guess you call it your witch was taking livestock in the middle of the night. So the lady, the old lady, she's like, well, I'll deal with this. And what she said, it might seem kind of cartoonish, but what she said she did was she put her clothes on backwards, put her hat on backwards, and she sat and waited. So when that witch came by, she heard the mother trying to protect the lamb. For whatever reason, this lady, she had, you hear it once or two, you hear it a couple of times, and it's that they had the long hair in front of the face. She's that's what she's seen. And what the lady said was the witch had real long nails and was poking the lamb on the ground, and the mother was irritated, but kind of pissed off and trying to protect the offspring. So when the lady was doing that, the old grandma, she pulled out her rifle and she put a bead on that witch, and she shot the witch. And later, you hear it a couple of times, like they would go to the hospital and they would say, "Oh, I tripped and I fell." It's a recurring story, but that's exactly how this one acts and happened. End up going to the hospital and saying that tripped and fell, on a stick, crawling over the fence and got impaled. So it's stories like this, that I was told when I was younger. Even just simple as putting on your clothes backwards and your hat backwards, So yeah, little something.
Oh yeah, for real. Careful out there. We got a good one right here. Crazy Coyote 1313, R.I.P. Van Winkle. A good example of little people kidnapping dude. Drank with them in 1760. Woke up in the U.S. 1799. Oh man, looks like I gotta look into that. That's a good one. Yeah, love that, Coyote. Thank you. He sends me some good stuff, Crazy Coyote. I have yet to read it. Like right now would be a good time to read all the documented saber-toothed tiger sightings in Arizona and New Mexico. So the latest one was 1946 to 1922. He sent me that. I was like, oh my gosh. It made me jump up. I'm like, oh man. This is proof they're still here. This is not too long ago.
J.C. Johnson guy. I don't know if you remember him saying that he's seen a prehistoric creature out there too. So who knows, man? The Navajo Nation is such a weird place to live, but I love it.
Yep, exactly. SFH. I hear the military use infrasound weapons on cryptids. Illegal for public, but I hear the guy made one, and cryptids never come back to his house. Oh man.
Yeah, I heard the same thing too, man.
Skidder operator, berry picking native woman / kids disappeared in Alaska. Oh man, same correlation right there. They're doing the same thing. They're like, oh, you're on the menu now. The gargoyles on European churches are cryptids and demons inside a church. It's meant to be safe. Oh man! Well, they're around the Southwest still too. People see them flying around. Oh man! European churches, I don't know. I think they're in bed with the devil. So is the Vatican.
I'm not a big fan of the
Z Sun Dragon 6461. Love that explanation. Answer Dawn, dropping knowledge. Hey, thank you for listening. It's just we all survive. We're survivors, and I believe that passing on this information to everyone, especially the next generation, so they'll know a little bit more than we do. Oh, we're running out of time here. Let's see here. SFH churches have exorcists for demons and poltergeists, but why not cryptids and aliens? I don't know, right? That's very interesting right there. Tyson Lolito, let me hear that story from Wheatfield, Don. Oh man, when we get another downtime, I'll share that one from Wheatfield. It's interesting stuff right there. Yeah, the yelling you heard, right around 3 a.m. There's yelling in Wheatfield. We went camping over there, my son and my brother. I think a bobcat came right to the tent and was growling, and I got up yelling. I grabbed my spotlight and my 10 millimeter. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, so it woke me up. Brian Cass 5408. You guys should interview Robert Crater about Bigfoot. Very interesting investigator. Very good at tracking and makes a lot of sense scientifically. One of his videos, you can hear Bigfoot growl crazy. Oh man, growl. Ooh, I heard a roar. Roar is very beautiful. It's one of my favorite ones to hear. Bigfoot roar. Crazy Coyote 1313. The Bible has keys to defeating evil. The problem is it's always getting rewritten every few centuries. The original Bible from back in the day, first edition, was potent that demons would die. Check that out. That girl 84 joke. The sun blocked up an hour because it was daylight saving times. That was a good one. SFX Brandishing Ritual of Solomon, which is used. I don't know what Christian exorcists used to use its secret. Apparently, the ring, the Lord of the Rings, like this one right here. This is my secret power. You gotta stop saving the hose, and you gotta save the planet, Captain Planet, right here. I was just kidding. Bad joke. Yeah. Let's see here. SFH. Jesus states are different. Jesus statues are different colors in every country according to what color people are. Yeah.
I've seen them too, man. It's kind of odd that they do that. I was always told that the Bible is a world religion, not a white religion. And when I was younger, I used to get a bunch of stuff about it. Like believing that the white man's
washed.
Yeah. So as I got older, I was like, man, there's no way Jesus was white. Even in the region that he's at, he had to be a little brown. So
yeah, definitely, huh? Everyone, he's every color. His eyes is blue, green, black, and his eyes changes colors. It's all of us, and he's 6'1". That's what I can tell you about Jesus. Yeah. His color is brown. It's like the Middle East people, and I'm 6 foot, so he's one inch taller. That's what I can tell you about that.
I think you just gotta
right here. Real quick, let's read this. Then we're gonna bounce out because I gotta go restroom. TMI. Skidder operator. Jesus was Arab Semite. Yeah. He's that color. Yes, he's that color, and the best hug in the world. He told me. That's another story for another time.
About subject too.
Dragon. Yep. That girl. Good one. Oh yeah, good one. Trina Yellow Horse. Hello, Don and Darren. I've learned so much from your podcast. Thank you. Oh, hey. Thank you, Trina.
Thank you. That's what it's about, huh?
Yeah, we're learning, and whatever we learn, we'll fill your cup, as you could say. information shouldn't be held because we're not the occult. Only the occult holds information, and we're not the occult. Brian Cass 5408. When I moved to Farmington, I used to run into JC. Oh man, at the MS, I can't even say that, at the mall when he used to upload his videos. It was a gaming place. Very privileged to meet him. Probably what made me interested in this. Oh,
Yeah,
lucky you!
yeah.
Should have got a
I-
picture. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Everyone, I
yeah.
think everyone likes him. First
yeah.
one.
I know he kind of helped me out with the whole dog man thing that I went through, because that was the first thing that popped up. JC Johnson, four corner cryptic. So
Yeah. Yeah. See, he has a mood ring. No, it's not a mood ring. If you get Navajos and Apaches and other tribes with this all together, who knows what will happen? Come out of this ring. No, just kidding. Exorcist Malachi Martin, exorcist priests at the Vatican. He said a lot of people in he said a lot of people in the mental asylum have possessions and misdiagnosed. Yeah. Yep. Then
gotta rule everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you have a good relationship with Jesus, I know that they'll know you as well. They'll see you coming. They'll see the light inside of you. And like even person that's practicing dark arts, even if you have a good heart and good intentions, they'll see that coming. They'll see you coming, and they'll want that light. Especially if you're spiritually gifted. The ones that practice skinwalkers, they want your power. They'll sacrifice you to get it. So, you may be spiritually gifted or not. But yeah, let's see here. Zeus Dragon. No, Jesus is a mood ring with his eyes. Oh man, it might be. I don't know, but I can't tell you that all the eyes in this world, all the color into the one, it's beautiful. Scooter operator Brian, did you run into Brenda Harris in Farmington? Ooh, we gotta run into her one of these days. That's one of the goals, is to bring her on here too. Just imagine what story she has. I heard some of them, but just imagine what else she'll spill. Darren, do you have anything you want to say before we close out?
Thank you for listening, especially all the movement in the comments. Man, there's a lot of movement. There are people out there, you want to talk, and we'll give you the voice to talk right here, and well, if you're gonna look at the Bible, don't worry about what Jesus looks like right now. That's not the whole concept of why he died on the cross, So don't put a army tag on Jesus's face, or what skin color he was, So
we gotta go there.
Yeah, well,
I gotta go too. But everyone, take it however you want. We're not here to cause division. It's not our job, but we're here to relay stories and experiences. And you guys have a great one. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the comments and the question, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning into Don't Whistle at Night. We have been broadcasting live here on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. You guys have a great night. Thank you.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.